Back to Wyoming Liberty Group. And Steve,
Hey, Glenn.
see you again.
Great to see
It's been a
you.
while since you and I have had a chance to talk. So nice. Is that a new suit or is that just a clean suit?
That's clean.
That's just clean. Okay. All right. So he's here to talk with me about. Oh my Lord! I just read the topic. Then Obamacare and young people is what we're talking about with you, right?
Yeah, believe it. I mean, I still certainly under Obamacare standards, I'm still a young man, and this week it certainly became personal.
Well, okay. Now, I'm glad, and I hate to say it to you this way, I mean, don't take it the wrong way. I'm glad it became personal because that means you get to give us some insights that we're not going to get from the irrelevant press. So go.
Well, Glenn, it all started, as you know, 2 weeks ago when the Obamacare exchange opened over there at healthcare.gov, and we've been hearing little stories here and there about just how difficult this website is to work with.
Delaware celebrated yesterday because their first person finally signed on after trying for 2 weeks.
Right. And so that's where I was at for about 2 weeks of a holding pattern. Just for my own curiosity's sake, we've heard about what was going to happen to insurance rates within the exchange, and so I went ahead and tried to register, and it took a very long time. And then finally, I believe on Monday, I was able to finish my form. And then, but the problem is on the website itself, the area where you go to check for prices on premiums and different plans was locked. And on Monday, I made the mistake of leaving that web page open, and then by magic, I didn't click anything. There was no sign that I was in line. It just finally went to that section. So I guess I was waiting in line. I just didn't know it. So it may be a $600 million website, Glenn, and it's not very instructive. But I mean, you might call that magic. It's a magical website.
Oh, sure, it's magic. You found the wormhole somewhere in there. But let me ask you. I've been looking at this in two parts, but unlike you, I haven't gotten on the website to try it. I've been afraid, Steve. I've been afraid. But okay, so is it because it's too complicated to fill out the forms and the website just stinks and it keeps crashing, or is it just the website stinks and it keeps crashing?
I think it's the website just stinks, period. I mean, they didn't set it up properly. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about traffic and things like that, but I think it has a lot more to do with its structure. And I'm not a tech guru, but again, you know, when a website is crashing, you can't go to it at all. You know, that's how you know there's been too much traffic. But to say that it just simply keeps breaking every time you fill out certain forms, like trying to fill in security questions and things like that for your account. So the point is, you know, when I finally got there, I mean, it's the absolute greatest, biggest laugh I've had in a long time. And you know, I shouldn't be laughing because it's actually quite sad. But here I am, a 29-year-old single male non-smoker in Wyoming, and the cheapest plan I'm being offered in the exchange is a catastrophic plan, covers less than 60% of your total average cost of health care, and their low monthly premium, $261.60 a month.
I gave this example to someone just the other day. My health care is a lot less than that, you know, because if something catastrophic happens to me, I'll go ahead and have that covered, which is a very low premium. It's not even in the hundreds of dollars. It's below $100 for something catastrophic happening. Other than that, when I go to see a doctor, I simply just go ahead and pay in cash. And since I don't see a doctor but maybe once every 5 or 6 years, wow, I'm saving a whole lot of money compared to this.
Right, and even this plan requires a $30 copay, and I can go to an urgent care here in Cheyenne for $80 just to see a doctor about just about anything. And he can refer me to a specialist if he needs to. And a specialist, well, to visit them costs still probably less than this 1 month premium. I had to see a specialist a few years ago, and it was for one visit, it was about $225. Now that's not a low amount of money, but it's still less than what they want to charge me for a premium.
Okay, so you're 29 years old, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're still considered a young guy at this stage.
I'm a young invincible.
Well, yeah. I was about to say you're young, you're healthy, so you're not exactly eating tofu, but you're in shape. You know, okay. So what do you do then? What are you going to do for a healthcare plan?
I'm going to continue doing what I was doing, Glenn, and I'm going to take that money and save it every month and pay for direct payment when I need it. You know, we talk a mean game about, you know, Obamacare is supposed to save people from bankruptcy and things like that. Well, I have a law degree, and first of all, I know bankruptcy is not the end of the world. In fact, I would think bankruptcy should exist for overburdensome healthcare costs instead of, say, piles of consumer debt, which is what it's usually used for. And then I will go from there. I hopefully we're going to continue fighting this fight. Wyoming Liberty Group has been on the cause of healthcare freedom since I got here 3 years ago, and we're gonna keep working that way. And here in Wyoming, in particular, I know there've been a lot of there's moves that doctors are probably going to continue leaving the system entirely and only accepting cash payment. And we've seen where that leads to, because there are many services provided under healthcare that are still sort of at least free market, and that includes LASIK, that includes you could call it medical, but like a hair transplant, things like that have become more and more affordable as the market becomes bigger. More people are utilizing them. I mean, they keep trying to tell us that market principles don't work in healthcare, and yet the few examples of where the market is allowed to work, it does. So, and again, even in the current system, as messed up as it is, when I had to go see a doctor a few years ago, go see a specialist, even have a procedure, that cost me, when I paid cash, they were pumped because they didn't have to fill out all the paperwork with the insurance company, so consequently, they charged me less than half what they would have tried to bill the insurance company, and that worked out to right around, I think, $2,500, which was, oh, guess what, about $3,500 less than my deductible under this plan they want me to pay $260 a month for.
Well, now this is what I've been trying to explain to people for a while. It's a matter of how many middlemen, first off, that you put in there. When you go to see a doctor and you pay your doctor directly, there is no middleman, so that's the cheapest possible cost. But when you're including insurance companies and all of their bureaucrats and the feds and all of their bureaucrats, now the doctor has to have an office full of bureaucrats of his own to do all the paperwork. You got to pay all those people, so it gets a lot more complicated and a lot more expensive. So if we really wanted to make healthcare cheaper in America, I guess the way to do it is just simply pay your doctor in person.
I really, Glenn, I mean, I look at this plan, and I don't think I'm the exception here, because another thing to point out is I may be an attorney, and that always sounds like we make a lot of money, but I work for a nonprofit. I make above the amount of money that would qualify me for any kind of subsidies to help pay for this, but I make well under what any objective measure of rich. In fact, the funny part is I do the math, and this $260 a month, that works out to a little over $3,000 a year. Next year, the Obamacare penalty, or tax as they like to say, is going to be about 1% of my income. Well, again, it may sound like, ooh, I'm a lawyer, but I make well under $300,000 a year, so you can bet I'm going to pay that penalty instead of buying this shakedown insurance.
Well, shakedown insurance, I like that. So is the penalty going to be cheaper for you?
Oh yeah, significantly. Even when it tops out, even at this price. And again, Glenn, we're talking the lowest possible plan in the exchange for me, a 29-year-old. It goes all the way up to, for these platinum plans, the minimum is $425.63 a month, with a high of $448. So to get the Cadillac plan is actually more expensive than leasing a Cadillac.
Well, and okay,
I could get a Porsche for this price.
Well, let me ask you real quick, because we're running out of time here. Okay, so in the state of Wyoming, do you know how many people even bothered to go to the website, much less sign up? Do we have any idea of the number?
Healthcare.gov is being very, very guarded of the data that's coming out. We're hearing from some of the state exchanges, but I think it's going to be a long time before we get anything out of Health and Human Services. But I'll tell you, Glenn, this story, I've got all the details and screenshots from the healthcare.gov website when I'm trying to sign up and stuff. You can check out WYLiberty, WYLiberty.org, and the name of the blog post is Reality, the Affordable Care Act Isn't.
Okay, I got to run. Out of time. Heartbreak. Good to see you again, Steve.
Take care, Glenn.